doses administered daily.
We will ramp up our deliveries na at least maka-reach po tayo ng 100 million by the end of the month so that we can open up more vaccination. Target na we will administer at least 55 million plus doses.
The president appeals to those refusing vaccinations to change their minds. He says it's important for everyone to get vaccinated to sustain the gains in the fight against COVID-19. If they insist on refusing vaccination, the president says he may have to flex the state's power for public welfare.
Not because we do not believe in your theory or belief or your religion, but because you are a carrier and a danger to society.
Talaga pong merong kapangyarihan ng Estado na gumamit ng police power para itaguyod ang ikabubuti ng karamihan. No? Pero pagdating po dyan sa bakuna, antayin po natin dahil kinakailangan din natin ng pulisiya.
In Davao City, Mayor Sara Duterte ordered the mandatory vaccination of city government workers. Those who refuse without valid medical reason may be suspended or expelled. The president seems to favor the same directive. So does Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, who says 67% of ICU admissions and 84% of those intubated are unvaccinated. Trisha Tarada, CNN, Philippines.
Data from the National Task Force shows as of September 28, the country is close to receiving 70 million doses of vaccines. A huge bulk of the delivery is from the Chinese company Sinovac with 39 million doses, followed by U.S. drug maker Pfizer at nearly 11 million and British-Swedish firm AstraZeneca with nearly 9.6 million. The government set to announce before Friday whether it will retain Alert Level 4 in Metro Manila or lower it to allow more businesses to reopen. But hospital groups say it is too early to downgrade in the middle of the slow decline of COVID-19 cases. Our Tristan Odalo filed this report.
Hospitals remain full, hundreds of COVID-19 patients still on the waiting list before being admitted, and lack of manpower. These are some of the indicators why the Philippine College of Physicians and Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines believe that downgrading Metro Manila's alert level is not yet a good idea.
Hindi lang siya puno, no? Overflowing pa ang mga pasyente. Alert level 4, I think, to downgrade it, no, to alert level 3, I think that is too premature, no? Dahil hindi pa to, we need to be a little bit more patient para makita natin.
Right now, hindi pa rin talaga bumababa yung trend, no? Ang mga hospitals, especially private hospitals, are still full. Mga doctors, talagang hindi nila sinasuggest na tayo mas lumuwag. No? Ayaw nga nila bumaba tayo sa level 3.
While both groups acknowledge that there have been several improvements in the hospital situation compared to the start of the surge, like shorter waiting time for admission and more efficient patient management system, these are not enough to say that we can afford to ease restrictions, especially since some health workers have resigned from their post.
And then yung ating mga nurses naman, marami ang nag-resign because they are planning to go abroad.
May mga nag-resign. Yung iba naman ay na mga hinar ng DOH, no, ng ating government, hindi naman nag-renew ng kanilang kontrata.
St. Luke's Hospital, on the other hand, says that while they are seeing fewer COVID-19 patients now in their emergency rooms, their ICU facilities remain full. The hospital says situation now remains fluid.
Now, as of this moment, we have already rooms for our general nursing units, not the ICU. I would like to just inform everyone our ICU beds are still full. However, our moderate to severe patients, we can start admitting already.
The health department reports that Metro Manila's healthcare utilization rate remains high. This means that despite lower COVID-19 cases, medical facilities are still full of patients. The health department says that they're carefully studying their data before making any recommendations on alert level change. So far, the business sector appeals to the government to downgrade the alert level system to 3 in order to allow more businesses to operate and to help the economy. Tristan Odalo, CNN, Philippines.
Fewer COVID-19 cases today because of low laboratory output. The health department recorded over 13,846 new cases with nearly 40,000 new survivors and 91 deaths. 7 laboratories failed to submit their data. The DOH also fixing technical problems with its data repository system called COVID-DZKI-IRIGA. The agency says the server has reached full capacity. The Information and Communications Department looking into the system. Health officials guarantee this will not affect their assessment of the situation. They say this only affects the number of recoveries and deaths.
Sa alert level system natin, ang metrics na ginamit natin ay yung dami ng kaso, no? That's one. And the second is the healthcare utilization. That's a different information system. When it comes to the case data, hindi siya naapektuhan kasi may access pa rin tayo sa CDRS, which is where we get the number of new cases, no? So nakakapag-compute pa rin tayo ilan ang bagong kaso ngayon, no? Ano yung 2-week growth rate, ano yung average daily attack rate. So it had no impact in the assessment.
But the University of the Philippines COVID-19 response says the government still needs to polish some data, including contact tracing, hospital utilization, and status of infected medical frontliners. An official of a controversial firm supposedly breaks her silence days after a bombshell revelation at a Senate probe. Members of the media received copies of a statement from Pharmalee's communications arm. The email contained a screenshot showing that the statement was supposedly sent by Crizel Mago this afternoon. CNN Philippines cannot independently verify if the signed statement was made by Mago. Senator Richard Gordon said the Senate did not receive it. In the statement, Mago supposedly apologizes for going off-radar after her testimony that Pharmalee swindled government by tampering with the expiration dates of face shields procured using public funds. It said, or the statement said, Mago needed some time to think because she felt pressured by the Senate probe. The statement also read that Mago was never threatened by anyone from Pharmalee. It assured that Mago would continue to cooperate in the legislative inquiry. A lawyer of Pharmalee Director Lincoln Ong is crying foul, saying he is unable to contact his client, who is under Senate detention. Ferdinand Topacio says Ong is facing mental torture. Footage released by the Senate today shows Ong taking a morning walk in the Senate premises. Gordon earlier threatened to cite Topacio in contempt after the lawyer said the Blue Ribbon panel is turning into a kangaroo court.
Is it written, unless I woke up in Thailand this morning, that you cannot criticize an institution or a public official? Last time I looked, that right was right there in the Constitution. So this is getting really ridiculous, and that only goes to show that they are a kangaroo court. And I will repeat this again. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, under the leadership of a Senator, Richard Gordon, is turning into a kangaroo court. It is a kangaroo court. Now, please, Mr. Gordon, if you have legal basis to cite me in contempt, please do so now.
Gordon advises Topacio to instead try to help the Senate not be distracted by sideshows. Coming up on News 9, more bodies retrieved following a tragedy at a waterfalls in Cebu, and lawmakers are confident the COMELEC will heed calls to extend the voter registration period. Details next. Stay with us.
Nagsimula sa isang pangarap.
Ako na po, ma'am.
Ika'y tutulungang ibahin ang buhay na nakasanayan.
Naka 24 months ka na sa pag-ibig.
May panghulog na ako sa motor.
Uy, bagong motor!
Gagawa ng hakbang para mapaghandaan ng forever.
Ingat ka, ha?
At harapin ang bukas nang may maaasahan. Simulan mo na ang forever mo ngayon. Fund your forever with Pag-ibig Fund.
Register today!
Pogino! Dahil yan sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks Coach Shine. With active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real salmon goodness and omega-3 and 6 for healthy skin and shiny coat. Kita naman, di ba? Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks Coach Shine.
Amid the darkness, look on the bright side. As the battle against COVID-19 continues, the fight for proper nutrition grows as more and more families lack access to healthy food. Knorr is no stranger to these health challenges. For over 2 decades, the food brand has championed proper nutrition for every Filipino and continue to do so, especially during these troubling times.
NOR has an important role to play in addressing the problem of malnutrition. Given our reach and our portfolio of nutritious and delicious products, we are in a position to make a real difference.
Apart from educating moms and partnering with different organizations, NOR has also remained true to its passion for good food by continually improving on their products to provide essential nutrients that will benefit the families that use them. From its NOR Sinigang sa Sampalok Mix Original that now contains vitamin C, to the popular NOR Broth Cubes that are now also a source of iron. NOR's continuing innovation for positive nutrition is part of the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. The company's mission is to provide a positive social impact in the markets where it operates. For more information, consumers can visit NOR's website or follow NOR Philippines on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Sam Tidwani, CNN Philippines.
I have about an hour before my next appointment, so I'm going to stop by my regular auto care center and get the car checked up, maybe even an oil change. Here it is right here. Hi.
Good day, sir. Welcome to Petron Car Care Center.
Thank you very much. I just want an oil change, please.
Sir, you go to Petron Engine Oil Rebex.
You got it. What I love about Petron Car Care Center is they offer a full range of automotive repair and maintenance service, from lubrication, tune-ups, even tire and electrical maintenance and repairs. Any care your car needs is right in here, so it's hassle-free and convenient. Their outlets nationwide have highly skilled technicians who use state-of-the-art tools and equipment to keep your vehicle in tip-top condition. So expect expert solutions to your concerns and effectual service from their staff. So how's it going, Kuya? Good? With Petron's extensive range of internationally accredited lubricants, both mineral and fully synthetic, the Car Care Center over here, which is your automotive fluid specialist, is your one-stop shop for all your lubricants. Now, it's necessary to have checks and regular oil changes because this has a significant impact on your engine's performance. This is why it's so important to use quality engine oils that are designed to provide ultimate engine protection. Formulated with dynamic cleaning technology that promotes superior engine cleanliness for a more efficient and longer engine life, Petron Rebex is my top choice. It has an outstanding oxidation resistance to keep your car's engine healthy and perform exceptionally good. First-rate cleanliness, protection, and maintenance. It's all guaranteed here at Petron. Petron, may kasabay sa lakbay.
Welcome back to Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. The death toll in a tragic flash flood in a waterfall in Cebu rises to 3. Authorities said they recovered 2 bodies along a river early this morning. They were identified as 32-year-old Giselle Alastra and her 7-year-old daughter. The 2 had been missing since Sunday afternoon. They were among several enjoying a day out at Tinubdan Falls in Katmon town when a flash flood happened. The area was earlier eyed as a tourist destination, pending guidelines for its opening. A probe is underway to find out how people were able to access the falls. Filipinos will likely have more time to register to vote in the May 2022 elections. 2 lawmakers say the Commission on Elections has given assurances that a voter registration deadline will be extended from September 30th to October 31st. Senator Amy Marcos says the poll body's Deputy Executive Director for Operations informed her that the Comlacan Bank will pass a resolution tomorrow extending the registration period. Marcos chairs the Electoral Reforms Committee. Surigao del Norte Representative Francisco Jose Matugas, who sponsors COMEX's budget, also confirming the adjusted deadline during plenary debates on the proposed 2022 National Spending Plan. COMEX spokesman James Jimenez earlier told reporters the poll body will likely grant an extension. It earlier rejected requests from lawmakers and various groups, saying a later deadline would delay preparations for the elections. COMEX plans to limit voters assigned per precinct to observe physical distancing, but first it needs to finalize the total number of voters to determine how many precincts will be needed. Meantime, Filipinos continue to crowd registration sites, still hoping to participate in next year's elections. George Kila shows us the situation at one site in Manila.
People flock in this mall in Manila 2 days before the deadline of the voter registration. With the overwhelming number of people arriving, COMELEC Manila decided to accommodate those who arrived only until 8 a.m. Those who did not make it to the cutoff were advised to return the following day.
Bigyan nila dapat ng mahabang oras na yung tao. Kahit hindi na 200, bigyan nila ng lahat para matapos kasi interesado mga tao lahat lumoto.
Yung mga inabutan namin ng cut-off, ang ginagawa po namin sa kanila, kukunin namin yung pangalan nila, i-interviewin na rin ng kaunti. Tapos pag nakuha na po namin yung pangalan, ipapalista namin para bukas may appointment sila.
It's a totally different scenario inside the mall. People enjoy the comfort of their seats in an air-conditioned area like the movie theater. Police and mall guards ensure that basic health protocols are followed.
Bagamat gusto naming irehistro lahat, pero hindi na rin po kaya ng mga katawan, ng mga taga-field office. Pamula po nung naglunsad kami ng mall registration, halos 12 oras na pong nagtatrabaho yung mga empleyado sa field.
With the public demand to extend the voter registration, election watchdog NAMFREL joins the clamor for COMELEC to extend the registration for another 4 weeks.
I think this is sufficient already to handle the deluge of applicants to the various satellite voting centers and COMELEC offices.
NAMFREL says there are around 74 million Filipinos who are 18 years old and above come elections 2022, but only around 62 million are registered voters so far. George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
The Liberal Party unveils its initial senatorial slate for 2022 with familiar names seeking re-election. In a statement, the LP said it nominated incumbent Senators Francis Pangilinan and Laila de Lima and former Senator Bam Aquino during its virtual National Executive Council meeting. The party also passed a resolution endorsing Senator Risa Honteveros from Akbayan and human rights lawyer Chel Diokno as guest candidates. Pangilinan, de Lima, and Honteveros earlier announced their bids for re-election. Diokno will give it another run after losing in 2019, while Aquino has yet to announce his plans. The party passed a resolution granting Vice President Leni Robredo full authority to initiate talks and create a united national slate of candidates for President, Vice President, and Senators. Robredo earlier called for a united opposition to challenge administration bets next year. A legend in literature passed away this morning. Bienvenido Lumbera, a Palanca awardee and National Artist for Literature, died at 9:14 a.m. today of stroke complications. He was 89 years old. Tributes for the late poet and professor all over social media, from former students to fellow writers like Lualhati Bautista and Noel Ferrer. Ferrer says novena masses and a memorial will be held every 8 p.m. or 8 in the evening from today until October 6. Further details will be announced soon. Coming up on Newsnight, it seems Vice President Leni Robredo holds the key to rock band's reunion, and Korean boy group BTS will hit the concert stage in the U.S., its first in-person show since 2019. More details when we return.
Muna na po ako.
Okay, ingat po.
Araw-araw, tayo ay hinahamon na mabuhay ng tapat at may integridad.
Sobrang sukli.
Dahil ang mapagkakatiwalaan sa maliit na bagay,
Miss, wallet niyo po.
Ay mapagkakatiwalaan din sa malaking bagay. Pero ang mandaraya sa maliit na bagay ay mandaraya rin sa malaking bagay.
When the world was changing for photographic film, we helped change the world as a pioneer of the digital age. In healthcare, we're revolutionizing diagnostics by applying our AI technology. But why stop there? when we can focus our AI and IoT expertise on business innovation, helping tackle some of the toughest challenges in the workplace. When it comes to innovating for a healthier world and a more sustainable society, we'll never stop. Fujifilm, value from innovation.
Introducing new Magnolia Mayo. May choice ingredients na tatak magnolia. At may tamang blend ng tamis-asim sarap. To make kids go, try nyo, new Magnolia Mayo. Hinahanap-hanap na mayo sarap.
When it comes to heroes, kahit kailan hindi nagkulang ang Pilipinas. Mga taong matapang, lumalaban, at bumabangon kahit may kinakaharap na problema. O yung mga tinatawag nating never say die attitude. I'm Cristela Bello, your 2021 Ginebra San Miguel calendar girl, here to show you just how far a ganado sa buhay attitude can take you. Kaya samahan niyo akong kilalanin ng mga taong pwede nating pagkuhanan ng inspirasyon lalo na sa panahon ngayon. Here on Bagong Tapang Stories. Help comes at the most unexpected time from the most unexpected places. And for filmmaker Peter Polillo, it came when he and his wife were struggling to survive during the pandemic. Dati, sunod-sunod ang pag-shoot ng commercials, wedding videos, at iba pa. Pero dahil sa COVID-19, he lost his source of income. Pati ang kanyang asawa na empleyado ng isang manufacturing company ay nawalan din ng trabaho. While others might have given up, Peter did not. Ginastos niya ang kanyang savings. Binenta na rin niya ang kanyang kotse at camera equipment. Tinulungan pa si Peter ng kanyang boss na nagbigay sa kanya ng pagkakataong bumangon. Nagtayo siya ng isang milk tea business at within 2 months, 6 branches at 4 franchises na ang milk tea house ni Peter. Nagbigay si Peter ng trabaho sa mga out-of-school youth at iba pang hindi makahanap ng pagkakakitaan sa oras na ito. He also started the 10 Drinks, 10 Hospitals project na nagbibigay sa COVID-19 frontliners ng libreng milk tea. With just a little bit of help, Peter went from being in debt to being a success story. Everywhere in the Philippines, there's an unsung hero whose story is just waiting to be told. Just goes to show that even in our day-to-day life, anyone can embody that bagong tapang spirit. I'm Cristela Bello, your 2021 GSM calendar girl. See you next time for more stories na nagpapakita na kahit may bagong hamon sa buhay, may bagong tapang sa One Ginebra Nation.
You're watching Newsnight. I'm Pia Honteveros. San Miguel Corporation reiterates its commitment to provide sustainable and efficient public transport infrastructure amid claims that the Pasig River Expressway project will destroy the river's ecosystem. SMC President and CEO Ramon Ang says the company is holding consultations with various stakeholders and addressing all valid concerns. Ang refutes assumptions that Parex will do more harm than good for the Pasig River, citing the conglomerate's massive efforts to clean up the river system by allotting 2 billion pesos to remove 3 million metric tons of waste. He also rejects claims that Parex will worsen pollution. Ang explains the project's well-designed infrastructure will decongest cities, make trips faster and more economical, and help reduce air pollution caused by hours of traffic jams. He also clarifies SMC only had initial talks with Master Planner June Palafox's group and that no formal engagement has been reached yet. Now, for Eraserhead fans who are waiting for that long-anticipated reunion, you don't have to worry because there ain't no need to hurry. That is, unless you are Vice President Leni Robredo. Replying to a question on Twitter about the group coming back together, the OPM band's lead vocalist, Eli Buendia, said that it is possible if Robredo runs in the 2022 polls. Responding to a post about Buendia's tweet, Robredo shot an ambiguous reply of 3 runner emojis. Buendia later tweeted a disclaimer that his political opinions do not reflect that of other Eraserheads members. Filing for certificates of candidacy is set on for October 1 to 8. As of today, the vice president has yet to announce plans to run in next year's elections. In entertainment, shortly after Inigo Pascual's casting in Fox's next musical drama, another Filipino will be part of the ensemble of an American series. Broadway star Lea Salonga is joining Pretty Little Liars, the original Sin, the remake of a 2010 hit TV program. She announced the news on her Instagram page, sharing that she will be playing one of the mothers on the show. Salonga is set to star as Elodie in the suspenseful reboot series, which will stream on HBO Max. And before we go, 7 K-pop icons are coming back on stage for their first online concert in over 2 years. BTS will perform at an in-person event in Los Angeles, California on November 27 and 28 and on December 1 and 2. But fans who can't make it to the face-to-face gigs still have a chance to hear some of the group's newest hit singles live. The Permission to Dance on Stage online show will stream on October 24, over a month earlier than the physical production. It is 88 more days before Christmas, and that is it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again at 7 for News.ph. I'm Pia Honteveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
This program is brought to you by... This program is brought to you by...
Experts say more than 65% of people around the world are lactose intolerant. This means they're unable to digest the sugar in milk and other dairy products, which is known as lactose. Now, as a result, individuals with this condition experience cramps, bloating, nausea, and even diarrhea, which are mostly harmless, but they can be very uncomfortable and inconvenient. On the program today, we'll find out how lactose intolerance can be managed. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and you're watching MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. There are some people who have digestive problems after drinking milk, eating ice cream, or dishes with cheese, butter, or even heavy cream. That's because their small intestine or their gut is unable to produce a specific enzyme whose job is to digest the sugar in these dairy products, making them lactose intolerant. Let's welcome our guest for today. With us is Dr. Suzette Coherman, who is a gastroenterologist from the Makati Medical Center. Also with us is Ma'am Juvie Martillo C., who is the Chief of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics at the Asian Hospital and Medical Center. Our topic for today, lactose intolerance. I'm sure marami sa ating mga Pilipino ang nagtataka kung bakit hindi masyado maganda ang reaction nila when it comes to milk, mga gatas, or milk products for that matter. I'll start the discussion first with Dr. Suzy. Pag-usapan natin, what are the warning signs of this condition? Anong pwedeng maramdaman ng ating mga viewers if they are lactose intolerant?
Usually, they develop mga gastrointestinal symptoms like they can have abdominal pain, usually crampy, parang kinakabagan. Some patients can develop nausea, vomiting, or frequent burping or flatulence. And these usually are noted after ingestion of milk or milk products.
But Dr. Suzy, how quickly does one experience these symptoms after consuming dairy products? Pwede ba itong ma-misinterpret as food poisoning?
Patients who have lactose intolerance can develop the symptoms around 30 minutes until around 2 hours after eating the dairy products. And sometimes the severity of the symptoms can also depend on the amount of lactose that they ingest or that they drink. So if very minimal lang yung amount that they were able to drink or ingest in their diet, then the symptoms could be very mild, like maybe only bloatedness. However, if they ingest a lot more food that contains more lactose products, then the symptoms can be more severe.
Pagdating sa mga tao na prone to lactose intolerance, meron bang group of people na mas mataas ang likelihood na lactose intolerant sila?
Literature would say it's common depending also on the race. No, so tayo Asians are actually more common to develop lactose intolerance.
Ma'am Juvie, can people actually develop lactose intolerant over time? Kumbaga habang tumatanda sila, doon lang nila nararamdaman ang simptomas ng lactose intolerance.
Meron kasi tayong enzymes na tinatawag na nagbe-breakdown ng milk sugar. So kasi yung katawan natin, kailangan lang ma-absorb ang glucose. So kailangan i-break yun na wala tayong minsan kulang tayo sa enzymes na yon or lactase para sa milk sugar. So habang tumatanda, nababawasan tayo ng lactase. So nagkakaroon na rin tayo ng lactose intolerance. So meron din namang related sa disease, yun yung tinatawag nating yung celiac disease or related sa mga intestinal diseases na nagli-lead na rin sa lactose intolerance, yung mga complications or mga signs and symptoms. And meron din sa mga kids or infants na it would be congenital and developmental. So yun yung may talagang total absence ng lactase. So kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga lactose intolerances depende sa mga reasons or root cause.
Ngayon, Dr. Suzy, is it possible to actually sensitize your gut or pwede bang ma-outgrow itong lactose intolerance?
According to some studies, yes, we can also do sensitization, like you can try to ingest small doses of lactose in your body, and usually some patients are able to tolerate small doses of lactose and they are able to tolerate it with minimal or no symptoms.
Dr. Suzy, explain natin itong process na to, no? What happens but exactly to the body kapag merong isang taong kumain ng let's say ice cream, for example, or uminom ng gatas? Ano ba yung nangyayari sa katawan?
It just means na kulang sila nung lactase na enzyme. And the lactase is usually found in our duodenum or small intestine. So without any lactase, the lactose which is found in the milk or dairy products is not digested. Yung lactose is fermented or metabolized by our intestinal bacteria. And the intestinal bacteria, when it ferments the lactose in the colon, this produces yung mga gas dun sa ating bituka. That's why we develop cramping, abdominal pain, and also yung unabsorbed sugar from the lactose is also causing increased flow of water into the intestine. That's why some patients can also have diarrhea.
Ma'am Juvie, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, no? How there could be a number of reasons kung bakit ang katawan natin isn't producing enough lactase. Pag-usapan ulit natin yon para maliwanagan yung ating mga viewers with this.
Related po talaga, may mga by genetics po yan sa family kung talaga pong inherited po yung condition ng lactose intolerance. Meron din po yun as mentioned na sa infant pa lang, because of during pregnancy, nagkakaroon tayo ng late ng production ng lactase or enzymes. Meron naman, as we grow old, meron naman tayong normal level ng lactase to have this role na mag-breakdown ng lactose natin na kinakain natin sa mga milk and dairy products. Pero because of our age, talagang nagde-decline ang production ng enzymes.
While your lactase production can decrease over time, it's possible to be born actually with little to no lactase at all. Now, this is a rare type that's passed on from generation to generation called congenital or developmental lactose intolerant. Dr. Suzy, is this common in the Philippines? What does a patient who does not have lactase at all, what type of symptoms will they have?
This is what you call yung congenital lactase deficiency. Actually, this is a very rare condition. So, and it's characterized by an absence, meaning wala talaga silang lactase activity in the small intestine. So, they don't produce lactase at birth. So, these are most common sa mga babies, syempre, because it's congenital. Even as early as infants, they already present with lactose intolerance. And sometimes these patients develop failure to thrive because of the deficiency, no? Hindi nila matolerate yung mga milk from their mommies.
If you notice the telltale signs of lactose intolerance after drinking milk or having dairy, it might be time to schedule a doctor's visit. Now, we'll tell you what to expect and the best ways to prevent lactose intolerance when we return. So stay with us on MedTalk Health Talk. We're your partner in healthcare. This is CNN Philippines. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Now, many adults experience bloating, cramps, diarrhea, or even vomiting after drinking milk or eating milk products. Today, we'll walk you through what you need to do about it. Let's discuss pag-diagnose ng lactose intolerance, because the first step, as recommended, is to try cutting it from your diet. Now, if your symptoms ease after a day or two, it's more likely that you're lactose intolerant. And your doctor can confirm this diagnosis with actually a few tests. Pag-usapan natin yon na Dr. Suzette, kung ano ba ang if you have a suspicion of your patient being lactose intolerant, what are some of the definitive tests for this?
You do the hydrogen breath test. So you take it after an overnight fast. So you do it in the hospital. This is a non-invasive test. So ang gagawin is when you go to the hospital after fasting, you're given 25 grams of lactose. And then you swallow it with water. And syempre, if you cannot tolerate the lactose, then I mentioned, diba, yung bacteria in the colon will be able to digest the lactose in the colon, and they will be producing yung mga gas. And these gases will be detected in the patient's breath when they do the hydrogen breath test.
Today, there's actually no cure available yet for lactose intolerance, but it is managed pretty easily. Your amount of food and drinks that contain lactose can actually help. Pero, Ma'am Juvie, pag-usapan natin yon. Healthy ba sa diet ng isang tao na tanggalin ang lahat ng lactose or mga milk products? Is it healthy to eliminate from their diets completely?
Lactose is a part of a healthy eating lifestyle, a part of a good composition of a meal, a balanced diet. Kasi when we say lactose, this could be coming from milk and dairy products. And other nutrients could be more component of calcium, phosphorus, kasi yung lactose is a good source of protein din. So pag sinabi nating lactose, andyan yung milk and dairy products, and it's a case-to-case basis. Of course, it's so unfortunate na tanggalin talaga yung lactose sa diet natin.
Now, taking calcium and vitamin D supplements are one of some of the alternatives to this, But Ma'am Juvie, play natin sa mga viewers yung difference nito. Is this a good replacement?
We still need the supplements to provide the calcium sources natin, but it's of course with a good endorsement or collaboration with the gastro, we really identify that what would be the best that we can give to the patient. Kasi as we really nire-reserve namin yung as possible na pwede namin ibigay sa patient. So as identified, for example, if it's due to aging, so we can have a specific amount or allowed that we can give to this type of patients or age group. But if it's related to a diseases, there would be a consideration of supplements, calcium supplements or other nutrients para lang ma-maintain yung function natin sa body or balance. Kasi if we don't give enough supplements, may lack of, we will have our nutrient deficiencies naman.
Now, I'd like to ask Dr. Suzy, on the extreme end, can someone who is lactose intolerant be the explanation for any mood changes, any fatigue that they feel in their daily lives, symptoms that may not immediately make them think that it could be due to lactose intolerance? Can it reach this point?
If you have lactose intolerance and you're not able to absorb yung mga other like calcium in the milk, then or vitamin D kulang din. So severe vitamin D deficiency can also cause yung mga mood changes, depression, mga ganyan. And yun, low calcium can also cause yung mga poor bones. So yes, so maybe if you're presenting with symptoms of that and you're having some bowel changes or bowel discomfort, especially when you eat dairy products, then maybe better seek a consultation with the doctor, especially a gastroenterologist, so that you can be worked up properly regarding yung possible of lactose intolerance.
Now, learning how to manage your lactose intolerance begins with your diet. We'll talk about what foods to avoid and the best alternatives when we return. We want to be your partner for a lifetime of good health, so stay with us here on CNN Philippines.
Ako po si Jennifer A. de la Peña, BSED English sa Liceo D. Masbate, taga-Barangay Malinta, Masbate City. Salamat po Congressman Elsalde Esco kag Congressman Alfredo A. Garbin Jr. sa bulig paagi sa educational assistance sa pariho ko na igwasing pangarap ag ambisyon sa buhay na makaeskwela. Maging isad na teacher para makabulig sa komunidad kag sa akon pamilya. Salamat, ako Bicol Party List.
Ako Bicol Party List. Katabang na, kasurug pa.
Ako si Bernard Aloysius Noronha, 60 years old. Dati akong flight steward, kakakain ko ng maalat. Nung umihi ako, parang may burning sensation. Sabi ko, may UTI ba ako? Ano daw, maliliit na bato galing na sa kidney mo na lumalabas na na-abrade yung daanan ng ihi.
Ang Kidney Care ay may pomegranate panlaban sa mga toxins at nagpapababa ng creatinine.
Tatanggal naman. Iwasan na namin yung mga maalat, mga fatty food.
Ang Kidney Care ay mabibili sa Mercury Drugstore at mga suking butika.
Ang Kidney Care hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Patuloy na binabantayan ng Department of Health ang pagtaas ng kaso ng COVID-19 sa iba't ibang rehiyon ng bansa habang isinasagawa ng ating lokal na pamahalaan. Prevent, detect, isolate, quarantine, reintegrate strategies. Lalo pa nating paigtingin ang ating pag-iingat at pagsunod sa minimum public health standards upang malabanan ang pagtaas ng kaso at panatilihing ligtas ang ating mga pamilya. Pag-usayan ang ating pag-iingat upang kaligtasan natin ang angat.
I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez and welcome back to Med Talk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Now, lactose intolerance is a condition most adults have to live with. There's actually no way to prevent it effectively, but while those living with the condition can consume some dairy without symptoms, there are alternative ways to get your daily dose of calcium as well as vitamin D. Now, we'll take a closer look at what foods you should eat and avoid for a lactose-free diet. Talk about supplement to start this off, specifically those lactase enzyme tablets. Are these tablets effective? Should our viewers take this if they are lactose intolerant?
So there are commercially available preparations for enzyme replacement, like tablet form or a liquid form. And these patients who are lactose intolerant can try taking, these supplements every time they eat food that contains lactose. However, you have to keep in mind that it's not as effective na 100% because sometimes hindi din siya porque na you took these enzymes automatically no symptoms at all. The effectivity of these supplements would also be dependent on the acidity of the stomach. Sometimes if your stomach would be too acidic, then sometimes it cannot work completely. That's why I still advise my patient, the best pa din is you try to limit the lactose products that you're taking.
Let's talk about naman yung foods to avoid kapag nalaman natin na you are indeed lactose intolerant. Ma'am Juvie, let's remind our viewers kung ano ang mga pagkain na ito. Now, what should our viewers avoid kapag lactose intolerant sila?
On the food that contains lactose. So in layman, we have just read milk and dairy products. Yan po ay nagko-contain ng lactose. So we have to avoid that gradually or it depends on the intolerances. And also we advise the other consumers or patients to read properly the food labels that they want to buy in the grocery.
Yes.
So check on ang basic lang po sa mga packaging, nakalagay ay lactose-free. So that means it doesn't have lactose.
Now, if diagnosed with lactose intolerance, you need to make an active effort to get enough calcium as well as vitamin D. Now, we mentioned that supplements are a safe way to get them, but there are many healthy foods rich in these nutrients as well. Ma'am Juvie, pag-usapan naman natin yon. Let's give our viewers some ideas kung ano ang mga pagkain na rich in vitamin D and calcium na hindi naman milk products?
Andiyan yung mga seeds. Mahilig sa mga nuts like almonds. If other patients are affordable to buy yan it's a good source of calcium, yung mga nuts. But we can also consider yung mga seafoods or yung mga fish with soft bones, mataas po yan sa calcium. At sa mga mahihilig na kumain ng gulay, yan po ay very lucky po sila. They have a good source of calcium or vitamin D, yung mga dark leafy vegetables like broccoli, mga kangkong, petchay. So that would be very affordable na kahit na lactose intolerant tayo, makakakuha tayo ng ibang sources po ng calcium.
Dr. Suzy, how about advice for your viewers when it comes to not just what to do if they are lactose intolerant, but overall gut health?
It's very nice to eat, eat a well-balanced diet. Make sure to exercise also because that also, stimulates yung ating digestion. So if you're prone on sitting lang, syempre, most patients, they really feel bloated or constipated. So movement, exercise, balanced diet, and a regular checkup with your gastroenterologist.
Remember, when it comes to lactose intolerance, each individual is unique. Learn how much dairy you can eat and drink without feeling any symptoms. Try smaller servings at first, and you can gradually increase from there. Ultimately, though, you need to listen to your body and what it actually needs. With that, I'd like to thank gastroenterologist Dr. Suzette Coherman and clinical nutritionist and dietitian Ms. Juvie Martillo-C for guiding us on today's episode. Here on MedTalk Health Talk, we hope to give you the knowledge and care that you need. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. We'll see you again next time. Stay safe, everyone.
Nanlalabo na ba ang inyong mga paningin? O kailangan mo ng proteksyon laban sa radiation? Ano pa ang hindi hintay nyo? Pumunta na sa The Vintage Optical. Ang optical para sa lahat. Visit us at the ground floor, Gaisano Capital, Barangay San Roque, Iriga City. We offer free computerized eye examination. Free frame. Lente lang ang babayaran. Starts at 999 complete eyeglasses with anti-radiation lens. The Vintage Optical, the widest selection of optical signature frames and sunglasses. The Vintage Optical, ang optical para sa lahat.
Ikaw ay may problema sa mata gaya ng katarata, glaucoma, paglabo ng paningin dahil sa diabetes, pamumula, pterygium, astigmatism, pagluluha, ang eyeberry ang gamot para sa inyo.
Ang aking mata po, may mga lumalabas-labas po ng mga itim sa aking mata. Namumula po ang aking mga mata pareho. Pero mula nung gumamit ako ng eyeberry, nawala po yung mga itim-itim at pagpupula ng aking mata. Tapos po, nakakapag-drive na ako ng maigi dahil na ang aking mata ay luminaw. Salamat po sa eyeberry, luminaw po ang aking mata.
Ang eyeberry ay mabibili sa Mercury Drug at sa mga suking butika sa inyong lugar.
Halagang paalala, ang eyeberry ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kung ang hanap nito, garantisadong trabaho para sa inyong mga heavy equipments. Apudan sana si Nick Clavillas sa CP number 0918-375293. Ang Marhaba Heavy Equipments and Auto Machine Shop. Nag-aayos kan gabos na klase nin hydraulic pumps, control valves, hydraulic cylinder torch, converters, D-lights, heavy outboard spare parts. Iyan gabos, genuine replacement. Kaya kung ang problema nindo sa mga bulldozers, backhoe, graders, payloaders, ison o basta heavy equipments, saro lang ang pinagkakatiwalaan. Marhaba Heavy Equipments and Auto Machine Shop. Yaon sana sa boundary kan San Nicolas, Iriga City. Owned and managed by Nick Clavillas. Para sa detalyes, kontakon ang CP number 0918-317-5293. Marhaba Heavy Equipments and Auto Machine Shop. Sa bawat individual na nahahawaan ng isang virus, lumalaki rin ang pagkakataong mag-mutate ang virus na ito. Kaya upang mapigilan natin ang higit pang mutation at pagkakaroon apektuhan ng variant ng COVID-19, kailangan din natin pigilin ang higit pang pagkalat nito. Paigtingin ang ating pagiging bida solusyon upang mapigilan ang tuluyang pagkalat ng anumang variant ng COVID-19 sa ating bansa. Lubos nating paigtingin ang pag-iingat para sa kapakanan nating lahat.
Ano ba ang maaaring maramdaman matapos magpapakuna kontra COVID-19? Maaaring makaranas ng sakit sa ulo, lagnat, pagkahilo, sakit sa katawan o parte ng katawan kung saan binakunahan. Ngunit, huwag mag-alala, pinapaalala ng Department of Health, Bicol Center for Health Development na ito ay mga karaniwang reaksyon ng bakuna sa ating katawan. Isa lamang itong indikasyon na ang bakuna ay epektibo sa pagbibigay sa atin ng proteksyon laban sa COVID-19. Kung makakaramdam ng mga ito, mainam na mag-self-monitor o pumunta sa lugar kung saan kayo binakunahan upang mabigyan ng abiso kung ano ang mga dapat gawin. Suportahan ang Bida Vaccination, maging res bakuna para protektado laban sa COVID-19.
Lolo, Lola, isang taon na tayong nahiwalay dahil sa quarantine. Miss na po namin kayo at inyong masasarap na luto at pag-aalaga. May bakuna na raw po sa COVID-19. Kunin niyo po ha. Kapag nabakunahan na ang lahat, makakapiling na muli namin kayo. Ingat po.
Kung ikaw ay edad 60 pataas o may iba pang karamdaman, magparehistro na para sa Res Bakuna kontra COVID-19. Res Bakuna, kasangganang bida at ni Lolo't Lola.
Dumating na ang Res Bakuna kasangga laban sa COVID-19.
At dahil ang dating nito ay by batches din ang babakunahan. Sa Priority A na grupo, una na ang ating health frontliners. Susunod ang mga mahal nating seniors. Pagkatapos ay mga taong may ibang karamdaman, mga frontliner na non-medical. At susunod ang mga kapuspalad. Mag-abang lamang dahil may priority groups B and C pa. Patuloy nating suportahan ang Res Bakuna at maging bahagi tayo ng Bida Vaccination.
Para sa lubos na seguridad ng ating bansa laban sa anumang variant ng COVID-19, tayo ay nagpapatupad ng 10-day facility-based quarantine para sa lahat ng papasok sa ating bansa kasama na ang mga returning Filipinos. Sila rin ay kailangang itest gamit ang RT-PCR sa ikapito na araw. Kinakailangan rin na sila ay sumilalim sa home quarantine sa loob ng 4 na araw sa kani-kanilang LGUs. Importante ang hakbang na ito upang matiyak natin na ang muling pagkikita ng ating mga pamilya ay ligtas mula sa peligro ng COVID-19. Ang kaligayahan ng ating pamilya iligtas mula sa kontra-vida.
Ako po si Ernesto Salvador. Kahira po talaga ang taxi driver. Madalas hindi ako nakakahiye, hindi ako nakakainom ng tubig, kaya siguro nagkaroon ako ng UTI. Tagiliran ko, nakaramdam ako ng pananakit, saka nahirapan na akong umihi.
Ang Kidney Care ay may pomegranate panlaban sa mga toxins at nagpapababa ng creatinine.
Sa linggo kong ininom, guminawa naman ng pakiramdam ko. Kaya tinuloy-tuloy. Kahit mas matanda na ako ngayon, pakiramdam ko malakas ang aking katawan dahil inalagaan ko ang aking sarili.
Ang Kidney Care ay mabibili sa Mercury Drugstore at mga suking butika.
Ang Kidney Care hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kritikal ang kapasidad ng ating mga sistemang pangkalusugan para sa patuloy na kaligtasan ng ating bayan. Tungo dito, maiging binabantayan ang ating mga border at ports of entry at mahigpit na ipinatutupad ang ating testing and quarantine protocols upang maiwasan ang pagkalat ng COVID-19 variant sa bansa. Makiisa tayo sa pagtiyak ng kaligtasan ng ating border upang matiyak ang patuloy na serbisyong pangkalusugan para sa lahat ng nangangailangan. Protektahan ang ating komunidad para ating kalusugan mabigyan ng seguridad.
Quincentenary Faith Rewind.
Ferdinand Magellan was seen as the main propagator of the Christian faith in the historic Easter Mass in the island of Limasawa. After the Holy Mass, he spearheaded the erection of the cross in the highest elevation of the island.
KBP marks 500 years of Christianity and this station. Quincentenary Faith Rewind.
Father Pedro de Valderrama, the chaplain of the Spanish fleet, celebrated the first Holy Mass in our islands. It was an Easter Sunday, in gratitude to the risen Lord for their safe journey.
KBP marks 500 years of Christianity and this station.
Basta here! Get ready for Magnolia Cheesy Milky White! Ready? Go! Magnolia Cheesy Milky White, Milky White, white, cheesy, milky, ang creamy pa. Wow! Ang sarap! Yummy! High in calcium, helps make us strong. Go, go, go! Magnolia Cheesy Milky White, Milky
Ipahiling ta sa gabos, sa tuyang pagkasararo. Anuman ang umagi, pirmi kitang nakatindog. Ipahiling ta sa iba, marhay na lideradong makusog.
Otonomiya na sa tong minamaot, kauswagan sa tuyang maaabot. Pagpadangan sa banwaan, kapatawa sin Diyos. Bicolanong puro nyog, rehiyong makusog.
Pagkaburnyog ang gabos, para sa igagarahay.
Kusog, Bicolandia.
Ang gabos na sektor, kahit sa tong ronay.
Kusog, Bicolandia.
Progreso at pag-asenso, sa tong mapupua, tindog Bicolano.
Kusog, Bicolandia.
Kusog, Bicolandia.
Bicolanong Burunyog, rehiyong makusog, kusog, Bicolandia.
CNN Philippines Hour sa RPN-DZKI-IRIGA alas 6 hasta alas 7 ng manggi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes. CNN Philippines Hour.
Salamat, hindi malilimutan ating pinagdaanan, ating pinagsamahan. Sa hirap at ginhawa, sa lungkot at saya. Salamat, salamat, salamat sa RPN. Noong simula pa lamang, kayo ang naging magulang.
Sa aking bawat hakbang, turo nyo'y tamang daan.
Sa aking mga pagsubok, kayo'y laging tumutok.
Kayo na ang laging kapay, hanggang sa magtagumpay.
Salamat, salamat, hindi malilimutan. Gintong alaala ng ating pagsasama. Sa hirap at ginhawa, sa lungkot at saya. Salamat, salamat, salamat sa RPN. Makilala, sikat sa buong madla.
Ang ibang karangalan, sa lahat bahagi ka.
Ngayon ka nakita, hinubog ng lumipas.
At bawat ngayon at bukas, nakabukit hanggang wakas.
Salamat, salamat.
RPN Provincial Stations, DZBS Baguio, DYKB Bacolod, DXXX Zamboanga, DXKO Cagayan de Oro, DXDX General Santos, DYKC Cebu, DZKI-IRIGA, DXKD Dipolo, DXKS Surigao, DXKP Pagadian, DXKT Davao, at DZRL Bata. RPN Provincial Stations.
RPN Radio Philippines Network, Radyo Ronda, DZKI-IRIGA, member kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
We have come to conclude the days of broadcasting activity. Let us rest from the day's work and be awakened, refreshed, and renewed. God, in your mercy, we have this time to rest. We thank you for unfailing health and protection this day. Forgive us for our failings, for our selfishness towards one another, and open our hearts to forgiveness and reconciliation. Ease the burdens of the troubled and bring joy of those in sorrow. We prayed for the safety of the travelers, of those guiding the well-being of our nation, and for all those guiding with great responsibilities. Continue to shower your blessings to our families. Preserve the unity of our society. Amen. You have been listening to DZKI-IRIGA Radio Ronda, a commercial radio broadcasting station owned and operated by Radio Philippines Network Incorporated as authorized by the National Telecommunications Commission with license number BSD-0029-2021, effective on January 1, 2021, valid until December 31, 2023. DZKI-IRIGA Radio Ronda operates daily on 1332 kHz with a power of 1,000 watts. This station is under the supervision of RPN Engineering headed by Engineer Joar C. Malnegro, ECE number 11753. Its operation and maintenance are carried out by the following electronics and communications engineer and first-class radio telephone operators duly licensed by the Professional Regulation Commission and National Telecommunications Commission. Abi Lindon C. Toralio, ECE number 36558, Jameson T. Oco, 94-1PV 3794, Charlie P. Buenaobra, 93-1PV 7860, Felix G. Lagrimas, 93-1PNCR 4224, and Joaner L. De Villa, 031PV 25873. RPN-DZKI-IRIGA Radio Ronda is now signing off.